He's the kid with the blindfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Well, also, he's in a situation where there's a bunch of people in suits without their faces being shown. Like,
I think it's more just to show that there was a potential thing that he was trained to use his quirk and to be a hero potentially from very young. So it says maybe more about his family,
but
or lack
not
of
at
family.
UA.
I don't want to just jump the gun on this guy because I think I'm assuming a bit much here. But I both love and I don't trust this guy a bit. You get that vibe?
Yeah, no, he totally seems like a bad dude. The problem is that he's a lot more interesting if he's a bad dude, but he's still a hero.
Right. Then because I think they're trying to bring up the point of how he's unlike literally any hero we've seen thus far.
Yeah, totally.
Hyper competent, young, flashy, popular, up and coming, pro hero. He has a little bit of a self-control problem. I think that already lends itself towards the chaotic, kind of neutral, middle of the line gray character. He comes bearing the news of plot.
Yes.
Did you hear that there's some exposition in town and its name is Hawks? By
the way, there's some rumors out there.
Rumors?
And I would really love it if you...
Nomu can come fulfill these rumors.
But I would also really love it if you specifically, if someone else, if the perspective character... Not me, even though I'm hyper competent and could do that myself, he wants to take things easily, right? He's at the number 2 position, but he said he would rather be in like the 30s or 40s, right? So why is he here, right? There's a discrepancy there, and maybe it's just that he's just that good. He's got the hand of Midas. Everything he does sort of everything he touches turns to gold, right? But then there's the question of like, okay, how far does that actually go? Because we know that there's something about him that we're not seeing here.
In job, in role, in function, he is a hero. But I think that over the course of the show, they're going to have to deconstruct what a hero is in order to rebuild it back up with what Deku represents. So I think they're going to use a character like this, and in some ways Endeavor is another version of that. He's just a bolder, brasher version of it, of deconstructing then what is a hero in MHA's hero society. He's poking at the idea that all these other people on stage don't know what it means to be a hero, so they're just saying really safe stuff.
There were a lot of things that Hawk said that felt contradictory, right? But because of the things that he's getting at are really good, I want to see them fully explored. And maybe that's where it's not contradictory, is that he was saying that as a way of...
To get a result.
To get a result. To rile people up.
I think that's 100% what it was.
Because maybe he's doing some scheme to try and set Endeavor up for failure so that he'll, through popularity, rise. No. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be, it's nothing so simple or stupid as that. No. He has some sort of perspective, motivation as a result of all these things, and it's not crystal clear what it is, but they've given us a pretty good window into it so far.
He's not consistent with his... his internal world has some things that are closely guarded. Right now, what they're doing is they're basically saying, hey, he's the bad boy, and he's going to have some fun with this. But you know what? He's actually also a good boy. So how about you guys have fun with that, trying to paint him into your black and white picture when he's actually more shades of gray and nuanced than that.
Well, and one of the tough things with the whole bad boy, good boy thing is that on the one hand, he's a bad boy, but he's got good sides. Or is it a good boy where it's
a waste
of
time either way to go into that, right? So because we can't really know him yet. We just know that he's not all that he seems.
Right.
If he was a guy that was seeking notoriety or fame or what have you there, he did kind of the simple thing, was he just took the mic and flew up into the stadium or the auditorium or what have you. I don't think that's actually his goal. I think that if anything was something where he's literally just setting up the very last person who can speak on this and to do something where everyone's now paying attention, because Hawks just basically demanded, hey, stop sleeping, look over here.
And then he name dropped Stain to get their attention. It's and All Might. Crazy thought as a way that they could make it so that this Hawks guy's thing could be not what it seems, and yet still be something that is in the interest of Hero Society. is that he is doing a syndrome.
Oh, he's syndrome. Okay.
Except he's not wanting to do it for himself. He's wanting to do it for Endeavor. Because he sees that basically All Might is gone. There is no symbol of peace.
So he's doing it for everyone, then.
For everyone, yeah. But it's the thing of he doesn't want to be in the spotlight, right? So he's wanting to So why is he in the spotlight then?
Well, why is he?
I'm not entirely sure.
See, that's why I don't buy that.
Well, but what if it was something where he was basically wanting to condense whatever issues there were into a way so that Endeavor could properly deal with them in his Endeavor fashion, and basically sort of show off to the world that he is a reasonable number one, if he's up to the task, of course, and it seems that he is, and then therefore he'll be able to become the next symbol, even if he's not All Might.
Exactly.
If we didn't see the stuff with Dobby, I would assume that it was all Hawks doing this, right?
Right. That's literally my thing. I was like, well, okay.
But the fact that Dobby's here, it's like,
it's just ordering a hit. Just go, cause more destabilization. Even if you don't kill Endeavor or what have you.
He's commenting on the idea that the average person or what have you is uneasy. And that leads to a couple of the people that feel outcast from society to then go and pick up extremist kind of books or what have you, like this Destro's Life Story, Meta-Human Liberation Warfront.
I just love how confident and suave Hawks is during this whole thing, and Endeavor is like, the hell?
He's like the symbol of lazy, I feel like, where it's just like, you know, he just sort of goes around and just sort of like lifts a finger here, moves a finger there, and just sort of everything sort of works out.
I want to go crackpot theory here because I feel like I'm reading along what they're doing with Endeavor. I feel like I'm on the right wavelength with what they're doing with him here. But with Hawks, why did we see him with like government agents looking as a kid?
I know, right? Like
now I just want to throw out the idea there that in this hero society, where's our Weapon X project? Where's our equivalent?
And then we have the person with the wings, like that is like some sort of
exactly.
Yep.
Hawks, in some ways, is so disconnected in a very weird way that I am actually struggling to come up with the typical levels of empathy that you would see from someone that does something that is because of the emotional investment that he has in the people being made better by his presence.
When he goes to the point where he is like doing the stuff for like the people, that seems very much like I'm in showman mode.
Everything he's doing has that slightly like kind of off-putting nature to it.
Yep.
And yet he's doing a really good job. He is a great hero. All that means something. So this guy earned his spot here. Whether there's any kind of government involvement within his stuff there, that is
he seems like a highly functioning kind of someone from, but he's still from some situation like that where he's not fully.
But you know what he reminds me of, and this is my crackpot theory. I want to go because MHA does this really well. Is they'll take a character who on paper, 3 lines. Define their character completely. But you haven't seen their backstory yet. I'm going to go out there on a limb. And this guy is all-American FBI Boy Scout from Daredevil, Season 3. And he's not full psychopath. Because I feel like this is where I need to pull myself back. He is a broken man somewhere inside there.
I definitely agree.
I don't think he's necessarily a psychopath or a sociopath. I just think that there is something off-putting about him that once we find out where's the human in there, I am going to be crying probably.
So there were a few things that I thought was really interesting about how they introduced him as a character, but specifically with the fact that they chose him to come in with in proximity to Endeavor.
Yes.
He's a foil for Endeavor, right? So, in what ways is he a foil for Endeavor? He talked about himself being that he doesn't have good self-control. He is someone that is removed and disconnected from the people around him and the society around him and things like that. But the stuff with like the men in suits and everything, the idea of if he was some sort of Weapon X that turned out better than most do in those kinds of stories, I I could definitely see that being the case.
He actually seems to be actually a well-adjusted, really decent person with regards to how he handles people and stuff. He did literally the save the puppy from the thing there. Yes, he could completely be the opposite kind of person, but there's a reason why they're showing us this rather early. And I think is that when they do any kind of stuff that contradicts that, we're supposed to have to juggle the two.
We don't necessarily know what this guy's after just yet. And I almost wonder if he fully knows what he's about.
Maybe when all's said and done, the reason why we're having so much trouble kind of putting a pin on Hawks, I don't think we know why he's at number 2 yet. I know we've been told why.
Yeah.
He's just a microcosm.
Super snarky.
Yeah, but I would say he's actually as snarky as I would have expected him to be. If anything...
For a 22-year-old hotshot that's number 2 in, Hero Society.
I'd rather be in like the 20 or 30 spot. I'm like, then why aren't you?
Right.
Why aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Like what's
you could
that
do
saying?
Things that would, mess that up and take you down a notch.
He's not perfectly working alongside the protagonists of the arc, right? That makes it even more interesting. Getting trained by men in suits and specifically mentioning you weren't trained at UA. It's that sounds very Weapon X-y.
It sounds very sus.